Okay, hope break went well. Here's the next thing we're going to do. We're dealing with ratios and proportions. Now we're gonna learn in this first video what each of those mean. Now I want you to start here and just write 3 equivalent fractions of 1/2. And here's what I mean by that. Well, let's say I have 6 questions on a test and I get half of them right, so I got 3 right. So that's 1. Let's say there's 8 questions on a test and I get half of them right, so I would have got 4 right. Okay. Let's say there's 10 questions on a test and I get half of them right, so that means I got 5 right. So those are 3 equivalent fractions of 1/2. Now this one's a little bit harder. You can't do it in your head as quickly as you can with a half, right? 3 equivalent fractions of 4/5. So okay, now here's what you can do when you're not able to do it in the head. I'm going to take 5 and just times it by 2. I just randomly pick 2, and I'll take 4 times 2. So 4 times 2 is 8, 5 times 2 is 10. Okay, there's my first equivalent fraction. 4/5 and 8/10 are equivalent, meaning they're the same. They have the same value. Okay, now instead of 2, let's go with 3. So 4 times 3 is 12, and 5 times 3 is 15. Okay, that's an equivalent fraction to 4/5. Okay, now let's say 4. Okay, times both the 4 and the 5 by 4. Okay, I'm just crossing them out. 4 times 4 is 16, 5 times 4 is 20. And there I have 3 equivalent fractions. So I'm going to pick 2 of these, and I'm going to write them on the back side, 8/10 and 12 over 15. Now 8/10 and 12 over 15 are equals. That's why they're equivalent. Okay, they form what's known as a proportion. Okay, a proportion is 2 equal fractions or ratios. Okay, ratios can be fractions too. Okay, now put that to the side, hand it in so I can just see that you watched it. And what we're doing today is solving some simpler proportions. Okay, you have 3/4 equals x over 20. These are equivalent fractions, and we have to find what value x would be. So we're going to start on the side where we actually have 2 numbers, 4 and 5, and you can use your multiplication chart. And see if you can multiply 4 by a whole number to get 20. So here's 4, here's 20. Well, since 20 is in the 4th row, you can obviously multiply 4 by a whole number to get 20, and the whole number would be 5. Okay, so put times 5. Well, that means the 3 has to be multiplied by 5, and 3 times 5 is 15. Now look on the next one. Okay, you got 8 and 5, so 5 is a smaller number. Okay, so that's why I put my dot with the smaller number. But 8 is not a multiple of 5. Okay, if I look in the 5th row, there's no 8 there. Well, then you're gonna have to do this a different way. Okay, so if you look at the multiplication chart and you don't see 8 in the row of 5, you're gonna have to do what's called cross multiply and divide. Okay. Now here's how we do cross multiply and divide. I want you to look at these, and I want you to multiply the diagonals together. Okay, so take 8 times 15, 120. Now I want you to multiply 10 by 12. That's going to be 120. Okay, now you notice how the diagonals are equal. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to multiply the diagonals. Now first circle the 2 diagonals where you actually have 2 numbers. Okay, 8 times 4 is 32, and then 5 times x we write as 5x. So x is multiplied by 5, so I'm going to divide both sides by the number with the x, which is 5. This way works every time. This one does not. So you're going to see me start to use this every time. So 8 times 4, so you take 32 divided by 5, and that's 6.4. So 6.4 equals x. Okay, again, multiply the diagonals that you know. So I take -3 times 26, it's -78. and I don't know what that number is, so I write 4x. That's what 4 times x is written as. It means 4 times x, so we do the opposite of divide, multiply, which is to divide. So line up your equals, you got x. So negative 78 divided by 4 is negative 19.5. So you do get some decimals here. Line up your equals, okay, you got 15 and 2, and it doesn't matter what side you put that on, okay? So I take 15 times 2, and that's 30. It doesn't matter the side that goes on, okay? You can put it here, or you can put it here. It doesn't matter, okay? Whatever you prefer. X times 3, we write 3x. Don't write x3 ever, write x3, 3 times x. We do the opposite of multiply, which is divide by 3. So 30 divided by 3 is 10, and you got x. Okay, find the product that you're able to, the diagonal product. Negative 5 times 6 is negative 30. I'll put it over here this time just to show you it doesn't matter. 2 times x is 2x. Then we divide both sides by the x multiplier of 2. Negative 30 divided by 2 is negative 15. Okay, line up your equals. Okay, negative 9 times 6. Remember the negative, it's negative 54. Okay, remember I'm timesing those. So I'll put that over here, and then x times 5 is written as 5x. Put the number in front, then the x. Then divide both sides by the number multiplied by x, which is 5. Okay, so I'll take negative 54 divided by 5, it's negative 10.8. Okay, 2/15. What value would x be to have these be equivalent ratios or equivalent fractions? Okay, well, we know if they're equivalent, then the diagonal products are equal. So 2 times 125 is 250. Then I write that as just 15 times x. Then I divide by 15. Line up your equals. You got x. And again, it doesn't matter where you put the 250. It could be here or here. But on the other side, you got 15 times x. You don't have to do any adding or subtracting yet. 16.6 repeating. If it's repeating, who cares? Just put a bar over the number that repeats. The 7 at the end just is my calculator saying, okay, enough. We're just going to put 7. Okay, so 8 times 30 is 240, and then 3 times x would be 3x. And divide both sides by 3. And 240 divided by 3 is 80. Okay, now we got some application pieces we're going to do here. Okay. Store A sells shirts for $25. Store B sells 4 shirts for $45. Store C sells 3 shirts for $30. Find the lowest price. Okay, what you're going to do, you got 3 stores. You're going to make 3 ratios, okay? And you're going to make one over here. That's your base ratio. Now it says dollars per shirt. So we divide the dollars on top and the shirts on the bottom, okay? So at store A, we got $25 and we got 2 shirts. Store B, you got $45 and 4 shirts. Store C, $30, 3 shirts. And then you just divide them and you find which one's cheaper. So 25 divided by 2 is 12.5, so that'd be $12.50 per shirt, okay? Just dollars per shirt, you put dollars per shirt. Okay, now $45 divided by 4 is going to be 11.25. Okay, again, actually the correct way to label it would be to go dollars, underline it, and put shirt. Okay, it means that every one shirt costs $11.25. Then 30 divided by 3 is 10, so it'd be $10 per shirt. Okay, which one's your lowest price? It's the 10. Okay, so Circle that, and that's the answer. That's your best price, the lowest price. Okay, car number 1 drove 408 miles in 6 hours. Car number 2 drove 365 miles in 5 hours. Who has the fastest average speed? Express your rates as miles per hour. Okay, so there's only 2 cars, so that's 2 ratios. But over here I make my base ratio, and it's miles per hour, so it's miles divided by the hours. Okay, so how many miles you have on the first? 408. We put that on top, we put 6 on bottom, and then 365 on top and 5 on bottom. Now divide and find the faster speed. So 408 divided by 6 is 68. When I divide, it's miles hour. Make that singular down there. Don't put an S on it, okay? That's 68 miles per hour. So 365 divided by 5 is 73. And the same thing, miles hour. Now, which one's the faster speed? Well, 73 is faster, okay? So there we go. Okay, now you're going to do some converting of units, okay? It says convert 15 days to hours. Find how many hours are in 15 days. Now we're going to use proportions, and this right here in the parentheses is known as my conversion factor. So I put 24 hours and 1 day. Now keep the labels the same, hours and days. Now circle the word to and then what comes after it, to hours. So we don't know the hours, so we put X. Now how many days do we have? We have 15. Okay. So first I take 24 times 15 because I know those. That's going to be 360. Then I take 1 times X. Well, that's going to be 1X. Then divide by 1, and X equals 360. So 360 hours. That's how many hours are in 15 days. Convert 60 feet to yards. So first start with your conversion factor. 3 feet, 1 yard. That's in the parentheses there. And then keep the labels the same order. Okay, don't switch the labels. They go the same. Now it says 2 yards, so I don't have the yards. So that's X. How many feet do we have? We have 60. Okay, so I'm going to take 1 times 60. That's 60. And then on the other side, I take 3 times X. Well, I don't have X, so I just write 3 times X. So X is being multiplied, so I divide by 3. Okay, 60 divided by 3 is going to be 20. So X equals 20 yards. Just put the label yards. Convert 1,000 centimeters to meter. There's 100 centimeters to a meter. Okay, so right here, put your conversion rate, 100 centimeters to 1 meter. Okay, and it says 2 meters, so X is meters, and then we have 1,000 centimeters. Okay, now I can gonna apply my diagonal multiplication. So 1 times 1,000 is 1,000, and then 100 times X is going to be 100X. Okay, so X is being multiplied. We have to divide by the number with the X, 100. So you have X, and then 1,000 divided by 100 is 10. So there are 10 meters, okay, within one. If you have 1,000 centimeters, you have 10 meters. Okay, convert 15 pounds to kilograms. There's 2.2 kilograms to 1 pound. Okay, so the same thing, kg, pounds. So 2 kilograms. So I don't have the kilograms. That's X. And how many pounds do I have? I have 15. I'm figuring out how many kilograms are in 15 pounds. Okay, so first I'm going to be taking 2.2 times 15. 33. And then 1 times x is written as 1x. Don't put x1 ever. Just always put the number, then the variable. Then divide both sides by 1, and x would be 33 still. Okay, x is kilograms, so kg is the label on the answer. What's up?
Hi.
I was at a meeting.